Once upon a time, there was a very beautiful kingdom. In the dense forests of that kingdom, there was a village where a woodcutter named Raju lived. Raju was a very hardworking and honest man. When he grew very old, he thought that his final days were near. So, he decided to tell his son Arjun some important things so that he could live his life peacefully. One day, Raju called his son Arjun close and said, "My son Arjun, you know that on the eastern edge of the forest there is a very large peepal tree. I have never cut that tree in my entire life. From tomorrow, you will go alone to cut wood because my final time has come. But son, remember one thing carefully. Never touch that peepal tree. You may cut any other tree in the forest, but never cut that one."
After saying this, old Raju closed his eyes forever. Several months passed after that. One day, Arjun went into the forest to cut wood. He looked carefully at the peepal tree and thought to himself, "What is so special about this tree? It looks just like all the other trees. Then why shouldn't I cut it?" Thinking this, Arjun lifted his axe and struck the trunk of the peepal tree with great force. Suddenly, something very strange happened. The tree moved slightly away from its place. Arjun took one step forward, and the tree moved even farther back. Now Arjun was extremely surprised. He started running toward the tree, but the tree began moving even faster than him. At last, tired and exhausted, Arjun returned to the same place from where he had started. He placed his axe on his shoulder, mounted his horse, and headed back home. As he traveled, night fell and darkness spread all around. Arjun stopped his horse and decided to spend the night there. He tied the horse to a tree and climbed up himself, sitting on a thick branch. As soon as morning came, Arjun climbed down from the tree. But what was this? At the place where the horse had been tied, there was now only a pile of bones, and a few steps away stood the very same peepal tree. Arjun placed his axe on his shoulder and said, "Very well, now I will follow you on foot." The peepal tree and Arjun kept moving ahead through mountains, valleys, and plains. Evening arrived and the daylight slowly began to fade. Arjun spent that night on a tree as well. The next day, he once again started chasing the peepal tree. On the third day, a very strange incident happened that made Arjun completely forget about the tree. Suddenly, a huge snake and a beautiful deer appeared before him. The snake and the deer were fighting each other. The snake was trying to swallow the deer, but the deer's long antlers were getting in the way, and the deer was stuck in the snake's mouth. Arjun could not believe his eyes. He stood there in shock, unable to think clearly. When the deer saw Arjun, it cried out for help. "Save me! Save me! For God's sake, kill this snake. I will remain grateful to you for as long as I live. Please cut off its antlers." The snake also said to Arjun, "I will make you very rich." Without thinking for even a moment, Arjun lifted his axe and struck the deer's antlers. Both antlers were cut off and fell far away. The snake immediately swallowed the entire deer into its stomach. Then the snake calmly looked at Arjun and said, "In return for this help, I will give you great wealth." After saying this, the snake began walking alongside Arjun. As they talked and traveled together, they came across a lake. The snake said, "Wait for me here. I will take a bath and freshen up a little. If anything strange happens, do not be afraid." Saying this, the snake jumped into the water. At that very moment, a fierce storm began to blow. Heavy rain started pouring down along with screaming winds. Lightning flashed so brightly that it seemed as if the sky would split apart. Dark clouds crashed against one another, creating terrifying thunder. All of this continued for as long as the snake remained in the water. But as soon as it came out of the lake, the storm stopped and peace spread everywhere. The snake said to Arjun, "After bathing, all my tiredness has disappeared. Now our journey will be comfortable." The two continued on their way. Beautiful flowers of many kinds bloomed on both sides of the path. Sometimes they picked flowers, sometimes laughed, and sometimes sang and danced as they moved forward. At last, they saw a house in the distance. The snake said to Arjun, "This is my mother's house. We are going there. When my mother learns that you are my good friend, she will happily serve you delicious food." Arjun replied, "It would be wonderful if I could get something to eat." The snake warned him, "Be careful. Do not eat anything. Instead, ask my mother to give you the small mirror hanging on the mango tree." While talking, they entered the house. The snake knocked on the door, and his mother immediately opened it. After asking about her son's well-being, she looked at Arjun and asked, "Who is this stranger with you?" The snake replied, "Mother, this is my best friend, Arjun. He saved my life." "Then, my son, bring him inside, serve him milk and good food, and treat him with great hospitality," said the snake's mother. Arjun entered the house, but he refused to eat and made the excuse that he was not hungry. "But son, you are my son's friend. How can I let you leave without eating or drinking something?" "Well, if you won't eat, then at least take a gift with you," said the snake's mother. Hesitating, Arjun said, "There is one thing you have. If I could have it, my journey would become much easier." "Tell me what it is, son. I will give it to you immediately," the mother replied. Arjun said, "The mirror hanging on the mango tree in front of the house. Please give that to me." The snake's mother laughed and said, "You are asking for such a simple thing. Your choice is quite strange." Arjun replied, "What can I do? This simple mirror will be useful to me." "Very well, son," she said, and took down the mirror and handed it to Arjun. After taking permission from the snake and his mother, Arjun once again set out on his journey. As he walked, a thought suddenly came into his mind. Why did the snake specifically ask his mother to give me this mirror? There must be some secret behind it. Thinking this, he took the mirror out of his pocket. He carefully examined its back, then turned it around and looked at his reflection. But instead of seeing his own face, he saw a fairy inside the mirror. The fairy respectfully bowed and said, "What is your command, Prince?" This strange incident completely shocked Arjun. He stood there in amazement for nearly a minute, unable to speak. After a while, he finally realized that the fairy was waiting for his command. At that moment, Arjun was extremely hungry. He said, "I am hungry. I want something to eat." The moment these words left his mouth, a grand dining cloth appeared before him, covered with all kinds of delicious foods. The fairy disappeared. The food was so tasty that poor Arjun could never have imagined such flavors. Arjun said to himself, "Oh, so this is the secret of the mirror. It truly is a magical mirror." He once again took the mirror out of his pocket and looked into it. The fairy immediately appeared and said, "What is your command, Prince?" Now poor Arjun could not think of anything to ask for. Suddenly a thought came to his mind. If I am being treated like a prince, then a prince should also have a palace. He loudly said, "Where is my palace?" In the blink of an eye, he found himself standing at the main gate of a magnificent palace. He walked inside like a king and admired the beautiful decorations. Expensive carpets were spread across the large rooms and heavy curtains hung from the doors. Arjun was amazed by the magic of the mirror. He thought to himself, "To live in this palace, I should also have a wife beside me. And if she were the daughter of a king, that would be wonderful." As soon as this thought came to him, he looked into the mirror again. The fairy appeared and asked, "What is your command, my lord?" Arjun immediately ordered, "Bring the king's daughter here." The very next moment, Princess Kamla was sitting beside him. Arjun was overjoyed to see her, and he married her that very same day. Meanwhile, Princess Kamla's sudden disappearance caused great chaos in the royal palace. Servants searched every corner of the palace, but there was no sign of the princess anywhere. Finally, the king announced throughout the kingdom that whoever found the princess would receive any reward they desired. Hope of finding the princess had almost faded when one day an old woman named Malini arrived at the palace. She said that she wanted to speak to the king about the princess. Malini was immediately presented before the king. She began to say, "Your Majesty, there has been no trace of the princess anywhere in your kingdom. This clearly means that she has gone to a land beyond the 7 seas. It is even possible that she is in a place beyond human imagination." The king anxiously asked, "What is your plan?" Malini replied, "First, have a large wooden chest built, then cover it with sheets of zinc. The chest should be large enough for me to sit and lie down inside it, and there should also be enough food for 9 days. Once I sit inside, close the lid tightly and throw the chest into the open sea." Whenever the king saw even the slightest hope, he became happy. He immediately ordered the chest to be prepared. Then Malini was seated inside the chest, and food for 9 days was placed with her. After that, the lid was tightly sealed, and the chest was thrown into the sea. Soon the waves carried the chest far into the open waters. Day and night it floated and swayed upon the waves. At last one morning, fishermen casting their nets near the seashore noticed the chest floating in the water. This was the same land where Arjun's palace stood. Using ropes, the fishermen pulled the heavy chest onto the shore. Everyone was curious to see what was inside. They quickly opened the lid and were shocked to find Malini sitting inside. Malini told them a very heartbreaking story about herself. She said, "My 2 cruel sons locked me inside this chest and set me adrift in the sea so they could get rid of their old mother." As Malini narrated her story, she continued to cry. The fisherman felt great pity for her. Malini then said, "Please take me to the king. If he is kind-hearted, he will surely help me." The fisherman took Malini to Arjun's palace. After arriving there, she asked for permission to meet the king, but instead of being taken to the king, she was brought before the queen. This queen was none other than Princess Kamla herself.